Yeah, I think now there's an elite player performance plan have just come in now to categorise all the academies in the country. We're category 3, so that's different. But we've got a head of recruitment now who works specifically for the academy to try and get players in. We started now getting players in at 7, 8 to try and help them produce all the way through. So that means we look at Sunday league sides and grassroots, mainly grassroots sides, to look to get players and take them into the building to develop them.
And do you think it is a little bit elitist, looking for a specific type of player and not a player that may be a bit more physically stronger than a player that's more technical? Or do you think it's a bit more elitist?
Yeah, I know in the Premier League a few clubs are now looking for athleticism in players because they think if they take them and they're athletic at 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age, that they can develop them technically in the 7, 8 years it might take to get them into the first team. So yeah, but we obviously look for a bit of physicality is one, and then technicality of that player as well, and game knowledge, tactical. So we'll look on those three bits, then obviously get a look, try and get to know the player as well off their coaches, get that little psychological edge to them as well, really. So there's a lot of combination. We've got a score sheet where we score them on what we think they are each, and if they reach a certain target, we'll bring them into the academy, or we've got it's sort of a pyramid system where we've got the academy at the top, we've got an elite centre underneath, and then a development centre underneath that, and a skills centre below. So if you come in at the skills centre at 8 or 9, hopefully you'll progress, move on, improve, go to the development centre, improve in there, go to the elite centre, then at the end come into the academy. And then obviously their goal is to, when they leave school, to come in as a full-time scholar to produce and play, hopefully get to play for the first team.
Okay. And you've had some young players come to the club, some players come from the youth ranks like Ivan, and some people come on loan, like Verahina. What do you think it is, like your method with coaching young players? Why did you work it?
I don't know, I think we're probably only like a few clubs that we take local kids. We take only in a 30-mile radius from the club, we'll take scholars in. So unlike the category 1s at Liverpool's, Man United, take them from all around the world and all over the country, but we believe there's a lot of talent in Northamptonshire and the surrounding areas, so we take them in there and just try and develop them and give them that sort of meaning to want to come and play for the club. It's a friendly club, and getting everyone on board, then being a local lad, probably means that little bit more to them as well, because they've grown up supporting the club and they want to work that little bit harder to prove that their family lives here and they want to play for that club. So that gives us that little bit of edge there, and then it's developing day to day, technically, tactically, and obviously physically as well, to try and step up to the demands of first team football, but also psychologically where they are ready to do it, because there is a lot of pressure once you step over that white line on Saturday.
And the problem with England, do you think there's been an injection of millions into grassroots projects? What do you think the problem is? Do you think an injection of the facilities? Do you think solve problems or not?
I think you're right. I think facilities. I think we're probably behind other countries on facilities wise with the 3G and the 4G pitches. I think I know hopefully with the new TV rights come in, that'll knock a lot more money down to grassroots where they can develop 3G, 4G, so that the players are playing on a consistent surface and playing week in, week out, rather than missing 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks over Christmas because of bad weather. And even now we've had a bit of bad weather and pitches are waterlogged and they're not up to the standard what you want. So I think if we get those sites with the 3G, the 4Gs on there, that'll only help, because they'll be constantly playing football and getting more contact time with it.
So you don't think it's the standard? Do you think the standard's there?
I think the standard is there. Yeah, I think if you look at the under 19s, under 18s England at the moment, they've got good players. They're going to tournaments and doing really well in the tournaments. European Championships did really well. So there is players there, and I think with the academy system coming in and this elite player plan, in some ways we don't buy into it that much. We obviously we buy into it and we think it's going to produce better, but the top end are getting the better players, which is harder for us to work with, but we've got to work harder to produce better players as well, really. So yeah, hopefully everything will filter and will improve in years to come.
Yeah, you spoke about the 3G and 4G pitches, but Northampton isn't one of the bases, or it isn't a hub, so they won't be getting the new 4G pitches being built here.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that is a factor that trickles down? So players in the Premier League, they don't get as much attention as people plays clubs in the lower league. So.
Yeah, I think as do at the moment get a lot of contact time, so we're quite lucky that we have got facilities what we use in the academy. Moulton use Dustin School, use Kingsthorpe School, just for a few use goals as well, where they are getting a lot of contact time. Academy gets 3 nights a week and a Saturday game for contact time. The development centres, the elite centres are 2 nights a week, development centres 1, and the skills centres 1 as well. And then we do a Saturday morning at goals as well. So they get a lot of contact time on the 3G. Obviously, we'd like pristine grass pitches, but the facilities are up to a standard that we can get more contact time on them, rather than them coming in at the academy. When I was starting out, we'd probably do 1 night a week. Now we're getting 3 nights a week. We get a lot more contact time with the children, hoping that they improve.
And what was it like for you coming up? As you know, want to be a footballer, you came through the youth ranks.
Yeah, it was good. It's like I say to the lads, it's the best time of your life, really. I think I started playing at school, then played grassroots, played sort of Sunday league for my local club, and then I started going to sort of academies when I was younger. More so now, there's academy at all ages that play games. We just trained, really. We more trained, didn't really play that many games at that point until you got sort of 15, 16. Went to Birmingham, 15, 16, signed a scholarship there, 2 years scholarship there, and loved every minute of it. Signed 2 years pro, and then wasn't really playing, wasn't really involved, so sort of had to sort of leave for my own sake to try and get first team football. Went down to Kidderminster, and then luckily enough started playing there regularly. We got into the league and went full time, and then spent a good 5 years there. Then went to Bristol, and spent 6 years at Bristol, then ended up at Northampton as a player, and then unfortunately had to retire due to injury. Started my coaching, and then never moved away from the area. Then luckily the job came up here and got offered the role sort of to coach the youngsters, really.
And yeah, you spoke at Birmingham. Do you think was okay? How can I phrase this one? So at Birmingham,
yeah.
You see when you came through, did you feel like the manager, he didn't want to play you often as much as someone else because of the experience level? Do you think that's a problem with some of the English players? Obviously, the talent's there.
Yeah.
You've got them come to tournaments, winning competitions.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe giving someone a chance, they looking to transfer market for someone else.
Yeah, I think maybe top end. I think luckily at this club we've got a manager who believes in the youth and wants to get players in. He thinks that if we get a player through, it's going to save the club money because we don't have to go and buy him, and we haven't got the funds to go out and spend £4 or £5 million on a player. So in that sense, if we can do that, it saves money. He can probably spend that money somewhere else, getting more players in. So, but I think at the top end, I think the rewards are so high at the moment. It is hard to throw a youngster in when you're top of the league and you're going for the Premier League title, or you've got the FA Cup final coming up. It is hard. It is hard for him to do that. But it's hard to say because football's a pressure game and it's a winning mentality. So your head's on the block, unfortunately, and you've got to be. I think if you're good enough, you'll get an opportunity. If you're good enough, you'll get an opportunity, but you've just got to prove, and sometimes it takes that little bit of luck to get that opportunity, and you've got to take it when you're given it, really. So it is. I think it is. It's a hard one because obviously you want to see young players play well and go through, but at the same thing, people are there to. It's their job on the line, so it is hard as a manager to do that as well.